here from Oh You're Lovely, where we carry the largest selection of wood flowers in the United States. Today's tutorial, it's been a long time coming, 10 months in fact, so let's just jump into it. We are back for another tutorial, and this one is about 10 months in the making because it is another quick tip grouping. We're going to do 3 quick tips for you based on some of the questions that we've gotten over the last 10 months. We've gotten a lot more other questions, so I'll say this probably multiple times, but if you have a question and you can't find a video that helps answer that question, pop it down in the comments, right? Yep, right down there. Drop it in there, and I will answer those questions, or I will add it to a video, and hopefully it doesn't take me 10 months to do another one of these. I'm gonna do better, I promise. Pinky swear. All right, let's jump into it. So the first question that we get asked is, can I cut these flowers? Can I trim them? What if they like uncurl when they're dyed? On and on and on. And so I wanna show you a couple different things that you can do with these lovely flowers when it comes to just changing them up just a little bit to kind of clean up some of those edges, if you will. So I'm gonna zoom you on in and we're gonna go over this. All right, drink out of the way. Okay, so first thing, one of the first simplest things that you can do is when you get your flowers and they have a longer tail, or like one of my friends likes to call them the butt of the flower, she knows who she is. You can trim it if you want to. It makes it so much easier to be able to get your wire in there as well if you're stemming it. It also helps if you are gluing your flowers. Now when you cut that off, you want to make sure just to pay attention to where your string is. Don't cut the string, that's what's holding your flower together. But there you go, simple Simon. And now while we're there, see this flower? There was a rip in the petal. It's okay, that's fine. It happens sometimes. You can pull it right off, and then if you want to, just trim up a little bit. None the wiser, good to go. While we're talking about trimming up petals that we don't like, here's another one. This one's kind of a rogue petal. It just kind of flew off the rest of it. Now you could reshape the flower if you want. That works as well. But for me, I'm like, I don't want that one. So I just trim it off. Simple, Simon, good to go. Same with here. Now this one, some of these stand up a little bit more, but again, you see that guy? He's kind of rogue, the rest of them. So we're gonna just trim that down. You can also do this while they're wet, but I don't have an issue with that. I'm doing it when they're dry. Okay, now, if you dyed a flower, you see this one, like, there's these edges that have kind of started to uncurl a little bit. Now you could spray this down or while it's still wet and you can see that it's starting to uncurl, but I typically do this when they're dry. I'm just gonna take my scissors and I'm gonna follow the shape of the petal, and I'm gonna cut off those stand-up points. Again, when it's wet, there's a less chance of it cracking. But with flowers like this, the wetter they get, the more they uncurl. So we want to be careful about that. But there we go. Now, those are nice and tidy. All right, so the next question that we got asked was about how to stem in preserved or dried filler into your arrangement. So I'm gonna go on a little tangent, but then I'm gonna show you a couple little tricks that I have. Now, something like this, which is Brunia, comes on a really thick stick, and when you're working with your flowers and things like that, you're just going to bunch them all together, you're good to go. You can also, because of how thick this is, be able to get it into floral foam without a problem. Now, something like bunny tails. I do put these in and like slide them into my arrangements just fine, but if I was trying to put them in floral foam, they sometimes are a little bit more difficult because they have such a thin, kind of breakable piece of grass. It's grass, so it's gonna break easily. So what you can do is grab a piece of your floral wire that you use for stemming your flowers, and then I'm gonna be using vinyl tape. You can also use the floral tape, that's like that paper, sticky kind of paper, you can do that as well, but I always have problems with that, let's just be honest. So vinyl tape, which is basically to me like duct tape, and I'm just going to slide that on there so that I have now a nice, I'm gonna trim this off a little bit so I don't have to worry about all that. And then I would trim my wire to size, so maybe right there. But now I have a nice firm base. Pop that in, good to go. Same thing with some of the other flowers that are dried or preserved that have an okay stem but might be a little bit thinner or harder to work with. You can also bunch these together to make like a little stack of them if you wanted to, depending on how you're going to use them for your arrangement. Again, using the vinyl tape, just going to grab a little bit of that, hit that, and have flowers fly everywhere. And I'm just going to sandwich in my wire, nicely roll that. I'm not using a lot, I just need a little bit to hold everything in place. I'm going to trim some of this down so that it's not in the way. And then if I was using it in arrangement, trim my wire to where I want so that again, I can put it in simply. Otherwise, this sometimes helps too if the stems are kind of short and you need something longer to fit into a bouquet. This gives you a little bit of an anchor so that you can put it into your arrangement. Simple Simon, no problem, all that fun stuff. All right, hopefully that answered that question. On to question number 3. Quick tip number 3, if you need to dry some of your flowers faster than air drying them, which typically takes about 24 to 48 hours, you can use something like a NoMBe oven. This is what I use in the studio if I need to dry flowers in a pinch. I do not use my home oven for my own purposes and for my own family. And the research that I did not feel comfortable doing it. So the NoMBe oven was a good option for me. I found this on eBay of all places to find one affordably. But it looks, she's okay looking. She's got a whole bunch of paint on her now after using them. And then I also have a piece of aluminum foil that I put in there. I don't know why, I don't need anything to protect this. It's only for painting or for drying flowers that have been painted. Now I will note a couple different things. Let's walk through this real fast. The temperature I use is 350 degrees, typically for 3 to 5 minutes, but I will say, watch it like a hawk the entire time. These flowers are wood, heat, fire. It can happen like that and it'll smell like a campfire in your home or in your studio depending on where you're using it, just because I know from experience. So definitely watch it the entire time. If anything looks off, turn it off, pull up the top, all that fun. Just take it out. Now, when you take this off, it is going to steam. The metal ring around the edge will be hot. Use caution with all of this stuff. Heat, metal, all that stuff. Watch your fingers, please be careful. Now, once they're dry, I do tend to use glycerin now with most of my flowers, and there is this weird kind of smoke, almost to the point where it burns my eyes, which is again why I won't put my flowers in my home oven. When I pull up that, so I tend to let them sit for a minute or two before it, just to kind of chill it out. And then I'm pretty far away when I lift it up. I don't know if that's just me, but it made me a little bit nervous. That has never happened before I started adding glycerin to my flower mix. When it's just craft acrylic paint and water, I've never had an issue with my eyes watering from the steam that kind of came up. So again, another word of caution. You are putting paint at a high temperature, all that stuff. So be careful. But if you're in a pinch and you want to, you also can use a food dehydrator. I've been told, I haven't tried it myself because I haven't found one cheap enough. But once I do, I will try it out. I believe it takes a little bit longer than the quick 3 to 5 minutes in the NoMBe oven. This is basically like a portable oven, like air fryer, but an oven version. So check it out if you're interested, especially if you're in a pinch and you need to dry flowers a lot faster than that 24 hours, or just plan accordingly. All right, guys, I hope that answered most of the questions that you guys have had over the last couple of months with these quick 3 tips. All right, guys, there you have it, 3 quick tips. If you're interested in what the original 3 tips were, I will make sure to link that video in the description. We talked about some of the other common questions that get asked about Sola wood flowers and working with them. And if I didn't answer your question and you got a burn-in one and you're like, I need a video or just a comment, just answer my question in the comments. I do that too. Make sure to drop it below and I will answer those as soon as possible. If you're interested in trying out the Sola wood flowers for the first time, check out the code YouTube30 for 30% off your first order at ohyourlovely.com. What else do we need to say? Oh yeah! If you're loving this channel, can't get enough, want to know when the next tutorial goes live, which it'll be a tutorial next time and not a quick tip video, make sure to subscribe and ring that bell. And also in the comments, I would love to know, is there something that we haven't done yet? We're fast approaching our 100th video here on YouTube, and if there isn't something that we've covered yet, let me know in the comments. I would love to hear that because I'm always wanting to make sure that we're making videos that you guys want to see. All right, guys, I think that's it. I think I covered all the things that I need to say in these videos. Hopefully, maybe I'll think of something afterwards. I went, oh, I also need to say that. So I'll just end it like this. This is Stephanie from Oh You're Lovely, and you, my friends, are absolutely lovely. Bye, guys.